Hey beautiful beings, in this video I'm going to talk to you about the 5 keys you need to remember to be your true self. Hello, I am Nightingale. I'm an energy intuitive and higher consciousness channel. And on this channel, we awaken you to your true self. That's your most authentic expression in divine form. We explore topics such as higher consciousness, spirituality, living from the heart, and definitely exploration of yourself. So if you're into that, then like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get right into the video. Beings, in this video, what's important to remember is I'm not talking about your true self as your divine self. If you want to know more about that, check out this video over here. And you also would really help you is understanding what the ego is. So check out that video over here. In this video, I'm specifically talking about how you show up as your most authentic expression here in human form. So how are you engaging with other people? Key number 1 is, and this is something we all need to let go of, is the notion that you are just going to be comfortable being your true self or your most authentic expression. That's not true. Think about comfort. What is comfort? Comfort is like that old pair of tackies, that's South African for that old pair of trainers that you've worn for a really long time and they're like molded to your feet, but now they're getting kind of nasty smelling and you need to change them. But they're still comfortable. They're comfortable because you've worn into them. They're familiar. So comfort doesn't always mean the thing that best serves you or the thing that is good for you. You could be in a relationship which is super toxic for like 5 years and that's gotten comfortable. So get rid of the notion that being who you really want to be, who's in your heart, what feels most authentic to you is going to be comfortable. It's not going to be comfortable. In fact, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's like when you buy that new pair of shoes. It takes a while. It takes a while to feel like, oh, this is familiar. And as you expand, because you never stay the same, think about it. The person you are right now versus who you were when you were a kid, versus who you are when you're 16, versus who you're going to be when you're 50, who you are right now at 70, who you're going to be at 80. All very different. So rid yourself of this notion of being who you want to be, being your authentic self, being your most true self is comfortable. The second key you need to remember is also something you need to let go of. Let go of the idea that you must know who you are. There's so much talk out there that if you want to move forward, you have to know who you are. You have to know what you value. You have to know what you want. You must know your life purpose. You must know. The truth about all of those things is, because there is a little bit of grain of truth in that. The truth is, when you do know what you want, it's so much easier to move in that direction. Just think about it. If I think that a swimmer's body is like the best body and I want to have a swimmer's body, what do you think is going to be the best way for me to get a swimmer's body? I know. Ballet. No, guys, obviously it's going to be swimming, right? So when you know what that something is and right for you and it feels true for you and you really know that this is what I really value, then yes, it's going to be easier to carve a certain path and work with this particular energy in a certain way. Whereas if you're doing yoga, dancing, ballet, weights, your body's going to take on a whole different kind of shape to if you were just doing one type of thing. It's the same thing with knowing yourself and choosing things that work for you, whether that's a career, whether that's particular traits of a personality. Yes, they're going to then mold you a specific way. But a lot of this stuff is exploration. You have to know that to know what works for you, there's going to be an exploration of that. So getting hung up on the idea that you already need to know and you need to have the answers right now is an old paradigm. That's something we were taught way back. That's very 3D consciousness, if you ask me. It's that kind of thing of, okay, when you're done with school, you need to go study and you need to know what you're going to study, and then you're going to be this person and you're going to be this person. Do you know anyone who has stepped into life and everything's gone according to plan and they've known every single thing every step of the way? The same analogy, the same principle applies to your discovery of yourself and knowing who you are, is that you don't always have to know exactly what that feels like. There is experimentation involved. And this is a perfect segue into number 3, which is try new things. If you've been a false self for most of your life, so you've been doing the same kind of things the whole time, and you've been doing things either because society's taught you that that's how you need to be, or it's something that you picked up from your parents, or it's an identity that you assumed yourself because it felt safer for you. For example, I did not care about school when I was a kid. I loved just playing outside and exploring and being very expressive and doing like little plays and writing poetry. And I used to see fairies and I used to imagine myself flying and I had these really vivid dreams. But everybody thought I was kind of weird because I was like that. But then when I did well at school, I got such good feedback. I realized, oh, okay, so I need to be this person. I need to be this person that does really well at school, because if I'm the person that does really well at school, I get this kind of feedback. And so I started taking on this identity of the smart girl. Yeah, I knew how to play that, but it didn't resonate with who I really felt like I was. But because I started crafting that identity and playing more and more and more in that space, I believe that's who I was. So that's how you can create a false sense of self. So the only way to know if and what is best suited to you is to try new things. The 4th key is addressing the fear of failure. Now, we understand if we haven't been our true selves or our most authentic expression for most of our lives. For me, it was like 30 years that I wasn't. It's only the last 3 years that I've honestly properly been on that journey. But if that's been the case, then our most practiced self is our false sense of self. So when we do try something new that actually feels good to us, sometimes we're going to make an oops. And that's going to be scary because now we're going to test this and it's not going to come back to us the way that we imagine. And then that may cause us to be scared and shrivel up and go and hide in the corner and then not want to be that person who we actually feel like we really are. No. There's this romanticized notion that once I know who I am, everything will fall into place and it will all make sense. The truth actually is, you get a stronger fortitude in knowing who you are. You get a stronger sense of self. There's a more groundedness. There's a feeling of empowerment. That's more what it is. It's not this romantic notion that just because you've decided to be who you really are, that things are just going to be easy. Life happens. There are ups and there are downs. Things are pleasant and unpleasant. That's okay. So what I'm saying to you is, don't be scared of trying something and then it's failing and it not looking that great and you having to then deal with that moment. And remember, failure to me doesn't really exist. I've made the decision that failure is just me deciding that I've given up. I've decided that I'm quitting. Because all you need to do in that moment is, yes, practice some self-compassion and be like, you know what? It's okay. And then in the next moment, you practice some self-upliftment and you say, but now I'm going to pick myself up and I'm going to try again. And then, beautiful beings, the 5th key is pretty simple and you've heard it before and I'm going to tell you again. Stop caring what other people think. Yes. And I know you're sitting there and you're going, yeah, I know, I shouldn't. But for real, let's get this into our heads. This is one of the things that I struggle with so much. Wait, what are people going to think about me? I mean, I'm going to be real with you. I want to be liked. I mean, whilst you're at it, you can like and subscribe and hit that notification button. I mean, it's normal. It's a normal feeling to want to be liked, to want to be accepted, to want to be a part of something, to want to be a part of a community. So that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I have that feeling too. But the truth is, not everyone is going to like you. And we can romanticize that once I'm me, everybody's going to like me because I'm going to like me, but it's just not like that. And the way I like to think of that is when I like to think of things of flavors. No one is better or more powerful, whatever this is, than someone else, and no one's more right or more wrong. The way I like to look at things is I look at things in terms of flavors. So I am pistachio, I don't know, pistachio caramel. That's not really my flavor, but we're going to go with it. And this person is chocolate. And I like pistachio caramel, and this person likes chocolate. And I don't really like chocolate. I do like chocolate. And this person doesn't like pistachio caramel. So I just look at it in terms of flavors. And we have no judgment against that. Same thing. So let go of this idea that everyone's gonna like you, or that everyone must like you. There are gonna be people who just really do not like you, even if you have the same interests. I made the mistake of thinking once I had a spiritual awakening that, oh wow, I was going to be in this community where everybody agreed on everything. No, it's not like that. And that is also part of this human experience, that we do have different likes and dislikes. And you know what? It's okay. So beautiful beings, that's the end of this video. Let's do a quick recap on the 5 keys that you can apply as you are becoming your most authentic expression here in human form, your true self. And the first thing is, let go of the idea that you need to be comfortable with being your most authentic expression, your truest self in human form. Secondly, let go of the idea that you always need to know what that looks like. Thirdly, don't be afraid to try new things. In fact, try new things. Fourthly, sometimes you're gonna make a little bit of an oops. But remember, failure is less about like you're making a mistake or doing something wrong, and more about you deciding you don't want to do something anymore. So it's always actually about your decision whether you want to move on, continue something or not. And either way is okay. And fifthly, let go of caring about what people think about you. Stop caring about what they think about you. Focus on being you, because if you're you, you're going to attract the people that are going to like you. So, I hope you like that, beautiful being. If you haven't yet, then remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And yes! Thank you so much for your awesome time. You are super, super, super awesome, amazing, because that's the people that come to this channel. And wherever you are is exactly where you need to be. And as always, 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 beautiful beings, I wish you love. Bye, beautiful beings.